Hello, and in this Quest tutorial we're going to look at using objects a bit more creatively and thinking about the kinds of things that players will want to do with objects. We're going to think about using verbs. Now, in our last tutorial you'll remember we added an armchair, and if you're going to put objects in games you need to think very carefully about what players are going to want to do with their objects. So the natural thing to want to do with an object like an armchair is to sit on it. So they can look at the armchair and get a description, but if we look here at verbs, okay, there's no other verbs associated with armchair, so at the moment there's not much you can do. And if you go to object here again, the only verbs that are shown when the armchair is visible are to look at it and to take it. So let's go to verbs and think of something else we could do. So if we click add, it says please enter a name, and fortunately Quest gives you a whole bunch of verbs that are likely to be useful for most situations. So what you've got here, you've got right in the, up there, sit on, sit upon, sit down, on a whole range of things that the user might type in or want to select. So we click that, select that, click OK, and when you've done that it gives you an option to do one of two things. This box here appears: print message or run a script, and we're going to look at scripts a bit later on. So I'm going to print a message at this point that says I'm going to print a message. We don't actually really want people sitting on it. It's not going to achieve any purpose, so we'll say the armchair doesn't look comfortable. You think twice. Okay, so that's the message that will appear when somebody wants to type those commands in. So let's get back to object here, and we want, when the object's seen, we want sit options to be available. So we go back here, I'm going to go add, and I'm going to put sit on. Okay, so that's now one of the verbs or commands that are doing word that will be shown when the armchair is visible. So let's run that and see what happens. So okay, I'm in my hallway, so I go east again into the lounge, and I've got an armchair. Now look over here at the places and objects for armchair. I've got an option appeared now to sit on it. So if I click sit on, my message appears. If I actually type, because remember you can also type sit upon armchair, I wonder if this will work. It does. Sit upon armchair will work as well, because that was one of the options that we selected in our verb list. So that shows an important thing to do with your objects in Quest, is to think very carefully about what players will want to use them for, and to try where you can and provide enough options for the players to explore your world properly. So in our next tutorial we'll add some objects that you can pick up.